My DVD and Blu-ray update, February 2025, Part 1. Ahoy hoy everybody, and welcome to another DVD and Blu-ray update. I was doing so well with doing these monthly and, you know, keeping on top of everything, and then life happened and I got to a stage where would rather watch this stuff and talk about watching this stuff. So it sort of built up for a few months. So I'm guessing this is going to be 2 or 3 parts, but I'll crack on as best I can whilst not skimping over anything that doesn't deserve skimping over. But this is all the DVDs and Blu-rays I have watched since the last update, whenever that was. It's not really in any particular order because it's got muddled up as I've been taking it off. I'm stacked by my telly, and as I've brought them over to next to me, they've got out of order. So some of these will be from months ago, some of these will be from a couple of days ago. But without further ado, first up we have got Series 2 of the Catherine Tate Show. So this was cost me £1 in an RSPCA shop. So you may recall, probably a year or so ago, I had watched Series 1. I watched these when they went out, but I rewatched Series 1 on DVD, and I was a bit disappointed it wasn't as good as I remembered. This was much better. It sort of had hit its ground and was running along nicely. Properly funny in places. There's still some of it that doesn't work for me, or I'm not that interested in, but when it's good, it's really good. Some of the characters are a bit overly repetitive. You know, they're funny once, but when they're in every show and it's pretty much exactly the same joke, they fall a bit flat. But yeah, overall much better. This has also got the Christmas special on it as well. Wild Things, this is the Arrow release. Love this film. I've owned it on every format. Already had it on Blu-ray, but a decent Arrow release is always worth upgrading to. So it's in a nice slip case with a J card, and then it comes with a nice booklet. Lots of pictures, lots of text. Double-sided poster, as usual. The original poster on one side, or an original poster, and the new Arrow artwork on the other. And then the Blu-ray itself, which is interestingly, normally they're sort of exactly the same, but obviously this is just blue tinged rather than full colour. And the reversible artwork is the original. And then it's got some art cards. So yeah, as I say, absolutely love this film. Really well shot, acted, scripted. Absolutely adore it. And on this Blu-ray, there are numerous extras. So commentary by the director and producer, a commentary by the director and the cinematographer and producers, an editor and score composer, interview with the director, interview with Denise Richards, making of documentary, some outtakes of Bill Murray which are funny, trailer. Yeah, I mean the physical stuff that I've shown you, but yeah, excellent film, excellent package. This is Bergman Island, which is a movie film. Really loved this. So Vicky Creeps and Tim Roth are 2 writers who are, I don't think they're married, but they're a couple, and they've got a child, and they both fans of Ingmar Bergman, and they go to the island where he lived and wrote a lot of his stuff, partly take part in a Bergman festival, partly so that Tim Roth, who writes screenplays, can show his new film, and partly just as a break and a writing retreat. And it's basically just a story of, you know, them there and the effect that being there has on them. But the latter half of the film, it's also her writing her new story, and that sort of comes to life, if you like, and then the characters in that story are shown, played by Mia Wasikowska and Anders Danielson Lee. I'm a big fan of Mia, it's the main reason why I wanted this. But yeah, it's a really good film, really nice, beautifully acted, beautifully filmed. Very good. This is series 7 of Inside Number 9. So Inside Number 9 has just finished. With series number 9, I have 8 and 9 in my to-watch pile, and I watched all these when they first aired. So this one has got the one where they're on a pedalo with Mark Gatiss. The one where there's a kidnapping. It's difficult to say too much about them without sort of giving stuff away. Mr. King, where he's a school teacher in a rural Welsh school. One where, I say he, I haven't specified even which where Reese is. The one where Steve is a writer and his characters come to life. The one, the time travel one, let's put it that way. And what's the other one? I can't remember what the other one is. Oh, it's what's it called? Wise Owl, is it? The safety information film one. But yeah, excellent. I will be, next month, March, I will be spending my 50th birthday watching them live on stage, which I'm really looking forward to. This is an Arrow release. I think all the Arrow releases were picked up cheap in sales, apart from Wild Things. This is the Stylist. So this is I think it was Canadian, might be American, but I've got a feeling it's a Canadian film. It's about a hairstylist who murders her clients, basically, to steal their hair, which she then wears as wigs and transforms into those people. Yeah, it was good. It sort of held my attention pretty much. Wasn't fantastic, but it was definitely worth watching. As usual with Arrow, plenty of extras on there. Yeah, decent enough film. This is Doctor Who, Eve of the Daleks and Legend of the Sea Devils. So these were the two specials before Jodie's last episode. Which is I'll be watching on my to watch pile very soon. Eve of the Daleks is set on New Year's Eve and was shown on New Year's Day, and the Daleks invade a storage warehouse and they're caught in a time loop, basically. I know some people don't like the episode. Possibly my favourite Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who. Part of that is because Aisling B's in it, and I adore Aisling B. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Legend of the Sea Devils sees the return of the Sea Devils, and it's sort of a pirate adventure set in the Middle East. Not the Middle East, the Far East, sorry. Which is, again, is enjoyable enough. Some of the special effects, some of them are fantastic, some of them don't quite work, but it's very enjoyable. Audio commentaries on both. Aisling does the comment. Yeah, Aisling's on the commentary for Eve of the Daleks as well, which is an extra bonus. But yeah, some of the better Jodie Whittaker era Doctor Who. This was a present, gift, donation from my good friend Craig Huntley, who I've spoken about a number of times on these videos, but basically a lot of the stuff he watches, he buys just to watch and then he gets rid of, and unless it's highly valuable, anything I want, he'll pass my way. This is Billy Lynn's Long Half-Time Walk, which I didn't know much about. Mainly the fact that Kristen Stewart was in it appealed. She's not in it much, but she's in it. But this was really good. So Billy Lynn, who's played by Joe Alwyn, Taylor Swift's ex, is involved in a heroic battle in Afghanistan, Iraq. Him and his squad, platoon, whatever they are, squad, come back to the USA as heroes, and they get, you know, they do halftime shows and stuff like that, and it's basically the story of him, what happened, the effect it had on him, you know, PTSD and stuff like that. It's just really good, really well acted. So apart from the people I've already mentioned, Chris Tucker in a not annoying role, because he does annoy me a lot, Garrett Hedlund, Vin Diesel, Steve Martin. Yeah, that was very good. I've enjoyed that a lot. This is Lux Æterna, which is a Gaspar Noé film, so I really like Gaspar Noé. His films are fascinating to watch. This is a short film. It's only 51 minutes. Largely improvised. Great slipcover on this. You've got spot gloss. You've got debossing there. Did I say this was another arrow? It's another arrow. So as usual, I've got booklet and all sorts with it. Yeah, so as I say, it's largely improvised. So basically, Charlotte Gainsbourg is shooting a film directed by Beatrice Dahl. They are playing themselves, and it's the story of it and what happens, and it all gets a bit psychedelic and hypnotic, and it, you know, it's only 51 minutes. It held my attention throughout. The cast was very good. It was very Gaspar Noé. I liked it. Another Arrow release. So this is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the Kenneth Branagh film, with Robert De Niro as the monster, Branagh playing Frankenstein. It's got the booklet, what have you. John Cleese is in it. Tom Hulce, Helena Bonham Carter, Aidan Quinn, Ian Holm. Really good cast, really well made. So it's sort of more faithful to the novel than a lot of versions of the story. It was, yeah, really good. Again, held my attention throughout. Really well shot, really well acted. Not a lot I can say about it, but yeah, very good. So again, another Arrow release. Strange sort of, the slip doesn't normally, it's, you know, sort of tells you all the details and what have you, and it sort of mimics what's underneath. But in this case, it's sort of very retro-y slip, but then a proper arrow inside. So this is a slasher film. Hal Holbrook's sort of the only vague name who's in it. There's a scavenger hunt at a university, and the sorority girls are taking part in it, but they're getting picked off one by one by a killer, basically. You know, it's a typical slasher. Again, booklet, etc. alternate artwork, which I didn't show on Frankenstein or Lux Æterna, did I? I'll sort that out. Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't fantastic. You know, it sort of wasn't horrific enough to sort of fulfill that thing. That's the alternate Frankenstein. To fulfill that role. It wasn't sexy enough to fulfill that role. It wasn't funny enough to, you know, it was just sort of an average slasher. Yeah, so that was the slip to Lux Æterna. That's the main cover. And then the alternate cover is the one that's on the slip. But yeah, as I say, it was okay. It wasn't fantastic. It was average. Again, another Arrow release. This is Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Again, this is their big deluxe version in a slip box with a J card. 2 books. So we've got the original storyboards for the film, and then the normal, you know, about the film, interviews, etc., critical analysis, all that sort of stuff, but a big version, if you like, compared to some. And again, as usual, a double-sided poster. So the alternate artwork on this, no, ignore me. So what this is the original proposed artwork that was never released because it was considered too controversial, which pretty much everything about this film is. And that's the same as this box cover. So this is 2 discs, which I'll talk about in a minute. So again, the alternate artwork is that band poster. And we got the art cards. So yeah, very controversial film. Took ages to be released uncut in the UK and in the US. So it's about a serial killer, basically, called Henry, and following him in his day-to-day life. What's sort of controversial about it is that it's all shot very matter-of-fact. It doesn't glamorise it, it just makes it normal, and I think that's sort of scarier and more dangerous, if you like, than, you know, over the top, or, as I say, glamorising it. Yeah, it was a fascinating film. Michael Rooker stars as Henry, and he was fantastic. This was sort of his breakout role. Yeah, I couldn't fault the film. So disc 1 is for feature and extras, which is commentaries, deleted scenes, trailers, and then disc 2 is a bonus disc, which has got loads of documentaries and stuff about the censorship of it, more interviews and stuff like that. But yeah, great package, absolutely amazing film. Highly recommend. Another Amazon and another Gaspar Noé. So this is Enter the Void, which again is a very Gaspar Noé film. So the alternate artwork is pretty similar to the real artwork. So basically we have a drug dealer, young guy living in Japan. He gets set up and killed in the first 5-10 minutes of the film, so that's not a huge spoiler. And basically the rest of the film is following him as his spirit leaves his body, and it floats around Tokyo, finding out what's happening to his loved ones, his friends, the person who set him up. There's flashbacks in amongst it as well. It's very trippy, wonderfully done. Just a fascinating watch, basically. Yeah, really good. It won't be to everyone's taste, but if you like Gaspar Noé's films, definitely watch that one. We have another Doctor Who. This is The Abominable Snowman. So this is one of the stories that's largely lost. It's only one surviving episode, which is episode 2. So they've animated it. Patrick Troughton era. With these, I can't sort of watch them the same way I watch normal Doctor Who. They almost become background to me. I don't know why. But it's nice. They're nice to have. This one actually held my attention more than some of the others. The animation was decent on it. The styles vary from release to release, but this was watchable. And it's a good story. It's a 6-episoder, which they tend to drag a bit. But yeah, by and large I enjoyed it, and there's making of documentaries and commentaries and stuff like that on it. A couple of discs. They always release them in colour and black and white. I tend to watch them, so it depends if they've got an original episode. So with this you could watch it with the surviving episode in its place, which is what I did. So in which case I watched the whole thing in black and white, because obviously it's going into black and white. Usually if there's only animated episodes, then I just tend to watch the colour. And we'll finish this part with this one. So this is another slasher film, another Arrow release. This is Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. This was really good. It is basically Phantom of the Opera, but set in a shopping mall. It's about a kid who is left for dead. They believe he is dead, and he's buried and what have you, but he wasn't. And he's revenging the death whilst protecting his former girlfriend. But then she meets somebody else, so there's a rivalry there. And as I say, it's very Phantom of the Opera, but given a 1980s teenage kids US shopping mall twist. But yeah, really well done for it. It was surprisingly good. Yeah, very good. Okay, that'll do for part 1. I had 3 piles here, and that pile's taken just over 20 minutes, so I think that's long enough. I will upload probably 3 parts of this in relatively quick succession, so you won't have to wait ages for part 2. But thank you for watching this, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks. Bye.